All right, so you're thinking about a career as a rolling stock engineering technician.
Well, you've come to the right place.
We're going to take a deep dive today, get you ready to totally crush that interview.
It's a hot field to be in, that's for sure. Rail is booming globally, and the demand for skilled technicians, well, it's skyrocketing.
No pressure or anything. But speaking of interviews, that's where we're focusing today. We've got a whole list of common questions.
Oh yeah, the ones that make or break you.
Exactly. And we're going to break them down, figure out the best way to approach them. Let's jump right in with, describe your experience in rolling stock engineering.
Classic. Sounds simple, right?
Seems like a softball question, but
But there's an art to it. They want to see your passion. Remember, rolling stock is the backbone. The locomotives, the train cars, it's what makes it all move.
so how do you make your answer stand out?
Think about the projects you've worked on where you really made a difference. Did you solve a tricky problem? Or maybe improved a design? Focus on those stories.
Don't just list off your skills. Bring that experience to life. Show them you're not just looking for a job, you're looking to build a career.
Exactly.
But what about if you're just starting out? Maybe fresh out of school, not a ton of hands-on experience yet. What then?
That's where you talk about your education. You've got that mechanical, electrical, industrial engineering degree. That's gold. Those projects you did in school, even relevant clubs you were in, that's all valuable experience.
So you're saying connect those dots for them. Show them how your education makes you a perfect fit for this kind of work.
Exactly. Passion and potential, that's what they're looking for.
I like it. Now, let's say you're in that interview, you're talking about a project, and you can just feel the interviewer's eyes glazing over.
Oh no, don't let the conversation go flat.
What do you do? How do you reel them back in?
Ask a question. A good follow-up shows you're engaged. What opportunities for specialization are there within the company? Or what first got you excited about this field?
Ooh, I like that. Turns it into more of a conversation.
Exactly. It shows you're genuinely interested.
Love it. Okay, let's up the ante a little bit. Safety, huge in any engineering field, but especially when you're talking about trains.
Absolutely. Safety is paramount.
So how do you answer the question, how do you ensure the safety of rolling stock?
Think about a specific example. A time you went above and beyond. Did you spot a potential issue before it became a major problem? Maybe you noticed a worn part that others missed, or heard a strange noise?
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly. That proactive mindset, that's what impresses them.
And speaking of being proactive, we should mention RoleCatcher here. It can actually help you prep for these interview questions.
It's true. RoleCatcher's AI is amazing. It can actually analyze those job descriptions, figure out exactly what skills they're looking for.
So it's like having a personalized cheat sheet for your interview.
Kind of, but it's more than that. You can actually practice answering those tough questions, and RoleCatcher analyzes your responses and gives feedback.
Whoa, hold on. So it's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
You got it. Content, delivery, it helps you refine it all.
That is incredible. Okay, back to the questions. You're on a roll here, prepping our listeners for success. What else should they be ready for?
Let's talk about problem solving. That's a big one. You know they're going to ask you how you approach it, especially in a fast-paced field like rolling stock engineering.
Okay, so how do you approach problem solving in rolling stock engineering? How do you nail that one?
It's all about showcasing your ability to think on your feet, be resourceful. You got to have a good example ready. So think of a time you faced a real head-scratcher on a project.
They want a concrete example, not just, I'm a good problem solver, but like, here's how I tackled this beast of a problem.
Exactly. What was the issue? How'd you break it down? What was the outcome? They eat that stuff up.
And don't be afraid to talk about what you learned from it, even if it didn't go perfectly.
Right.
Showing that you can adapt and learn from mistakes, that's huge.
Huge. Okay, ready for another one? How do you prioritize tasks and manage your workload?
Oh, that's a good one, because in this field, you're going to have a lot on your plate. Deadlines, multiple projects, the works.
For sure. So have a system. When they ask that, tell them how you stay organized.
Yeah, like, I swear by my color-coded spreadsheet, or I live and breathe by my project management app. Show them you're on top of it.
Yes. And don't forget about communication. If you have to coordinate with a team, how do you keep everyone in the loop?
Teamwork, so important in this field. Which, by the way, reminds me, RoleCatcher can help with this whole teamwork thing, right?
100%. RoleCatcher's AI analyzes those job descriptions. It can tell you what they're really looking for when they talk about teamwork or collaboration.
So it helps you tailor your answers to hit those keywords. Smart.
Exactly. It's all about presenting yourself as the perfect fit for that specific job.
Love it. Okay, back to the interview hot seat. What other questions should our listeners be prepped for?
Let's talk about regulations, the rules and standards that keep everything running smoothly and safely.
Right, because in this industry, compliance is key.
Essential. They
Right.
want to know you take it seriously. So be ready for something like, how do you ensure compliance with regulations and standards in rolling stock engineering?
And it's not enough to just say, I follow the rules. They want to see that you live and breathe this stuff.
Exactly. Have a story ready, a time when you had to be the safety advocate.
Ooh, I like that. Like you saw something that wasn't quite right and you spoke up, even if it meant delaying a project or challenging the status quo.
Exactly. It shows you have integrity, that you're not willing to cut corners.
Okay, we've talked about safety, we've talked about regulations, but things don't always go according to plan.
True. That's part of the job.
So how do you answer the question, how do you manage risk in rolling stock engineering? Because that's what they're really asking. Are you ready for the unexpected?
It's about being one step ahead of the game. You have to anticipate problems before they happen, have a plan in place.
So give me an example. What's a risky situation you've encountered and how'd you handle it?
All right, let's say you're working on upgrading a train's braking system. Big responsibility, right?
Huge. Lives depend on it.
Exactly. So there's always a risk of something going wrong, especially during testing.
Of course, there are so many components. Software, it could be anything.
Right, so you have to identify those potential hazards, software glitches, component failures, you name it, and then come up with ways to minimize those risks.
So you're thinking about backup systems, simulations, maybe even extra inspections, just in case.
Precisely. And if you can measure the impact of those risk management strategies, like you save the company time or money, or even prevented an accident, that's gold.
It shows them you're not just reacting, you're preventing. Okay, last question. This one's all about staying ahead of the curve because the tech in this field is always evolving.
Oh, absolutely. It moves so fast.
So how do you answer the question, how do you stay current with developments in rolling stock engineering?
Yeah.
They want to know you're committed to lifelong learning, right?
It's essential. And it's not enough to just say you read industry magazines.
Right. That's vague, unconvincing.
Talk about specific courses you've taken, conferences you've attended, maybe even online forums where you connect with other experts.
Oh, I like that. Mentioning those online communities shows you're actively engaged, passionate even. You're learning in your free time.
Exactly. And it could be a great way to make connections, network with people in the industry.
Networking.
Yeah.
So crucial. You never know where those connections might lead.
You got it.
This has been such a great deep dive. We've covered so much ground here today. What the job's really like, how to nail that interview, and of course, how RoleCatcher can give you that extra edge.
Because in a competitive job market, every advantage counts.
It's true. And the rail industry, well, that's only getting more competitive with all the growth.
More opportunities than ever before.
Exactly. So if you're feeling inspired, if you're ready to jump in, we say go for it. Remember to check out the show notes for all the resources we mentioned, including RoleCatcher, of course.
Best of luck in your job search.
We're rooting for you.